the last day you have done the square, the skip. Okay. Now you already done the quadratic equation solution methods with the fact by using factors. Now this part is the quadratic equation solved by uh, perfect square method. Before that, you have to idea what did mean by the perfect square. So grade 10 you have done the square of binomial. This is binomial. So why we are calling binomial? This expression having two terms, if it is having two terms, that is called the binomial. X and 2, if you get the square of the binomial, so what will be it? The answer is trinomial. You know the square of first term, then you multiply these two, it is 4x, and square of second term. This is comes under the grade 10. So square of binomial is trinomial, that is quadratic trinomial. And the next one, another binomial is there, so you can get the square of it. This is the answer. Now you can see the relation between these two. If you get the square of the binomial, that will be the quadratic trinomial. Now here the next case, x minus 4 squared, you can see here x squared minus 8x plus 16. This is also square of the binomial. The final answer is quadratic trinomial. In this case we are going to this quadratic trinomial. If you have this quadratic trinomial, you are going to build the binomial. So you can see here relation. You think about the middle term. If you divide this middle term and get the square, you can get this last term. There's a relation between this middle term and the final term. So look at this one, 6 divided by 3, then if you get the square of it, it is 9. Now shall we shift it to the next part, the completing square, meaning I told you they have given this part. That's mean they given quadratic trinomial, then you want to find what is the appropriate binomial. So now here x squared plus 4x, you want to find what is the last term. It is trinomial. So what do you supposed to do? Coefficient of the x divided by 2 and take the square of it and add it. So what is the coefficient of x? The meaning of the coefficient of x is what is the front of the x. So you can see it is 4. 4 divided by 2. So division 2 you have done in the grade 2 and get the square of it. Getting square is you have done grade 6. If you have a grade 6 and 2 knowledge, you can do it. You divide these two and get the square of it, x plus 2 square. Here sorry, it is 4, you can add 4. Then when you are writing it as a square of binomial, you have to take the square root of the first term and the square root of the second term. Square root of the first term, square root of the second term. That's it. That is the system we are doing the given quadratic trinomial as a binomial, square of the binomial. So you can try yourself these things, pause your video and try it. Okay, the first one you can see this is the front value of x. You have to divide by 2, get the square. It is grade 2 and 6. This is not a huge mathematical operation. Divide 2, find out what is the front of x. Grade 1 students also can be find what is the front of the x. It is 6. 6 divide by 2 and get the square of it. What is the value? It's 9. So you have to add 9. Now your trinomial already you have produced. Then what do you supposed to do? The last part you have to take the square root of first term and second last term. You don't think about the second term because this is the final answer. If you square it, you can get this value. That's mean x squared 6x plus 9. Next part, square same one. Next one, 8. 8 is the coefficient of x divided by 2 square, 4 squared equal 16. So x squared plus 8x plus 16. So you add this 16 here, then x plus 4 to the 4 square. Next one, x squared minus 10x. 10 is front value divided by 2, get the square. It is 5 squared equal 25. X squared minus 10x plus 25. The final answer x minus 5 square. So x squared plus 5x, this is the front value. Here in this case you have to consider this minus here, because if it is plus value second term, this comes plus. The minus value in the second term, it is minus square root of x and square root of 25. Very easy one. So you have to figure out what is the front of x. It is 5. 5 divided by 2 square, it is 25 over 4. Some people write this one in the decimal uh, value, as a decimal value. It is not incorrect, but better way you have to write it as a fraction. The final answer you have to keep it in decimal value. Now you can see x squared 5x plus 25 by 4. That means if you have here odd value, it cannot be divisible by 2, so it comes fraction value. So the last answer is square root of this one and the square root of 4. It is x plus 5 by 2 total square. So you can see here, these are your trinomials. You want to find the last value of the trinomial, and then you can write that trinomial as a square of binomial. This operation, this system, very applicable when we are working with the working with the complete square method. So I am going to explain how we solve the given equations in the completing square method. Here look at this: a squared plus bx plus minus c equals 0. This is the general type of our equation. A, b, c, you can put some values. X and x is unknown. Then as an example, now you can see here 2x squared plus 4x minus 16. You are going to solve using completing square method. This is quadratic equation. So how do you identify whether it is quadratic? That if it is including a square term with the x, so we can take it as a quadratic equation. So when we are working with the completing square method, the first step is you have to divide whole equation by 2. Then x squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Then make the coefficient x squared is 1. The first step is you have to make this coefficient. The coefficient of x squared is 1. Then second step is you have to bring this constant other side. Take the constant your right side. Now you can see the arrangement. Now you can see here, this is two terms expressions. If you add another terms, it comes a trinomial. So you are going to, your aim is you have to build you have to write this one as a square of binomial, so that you have to add another term. So how do you do that? I told you, you take this mid value. Here look at this. This is the this is the coefficient of x 2. It is divided by 2, get square of it. All the time you are dividing by 2 and get the square. That is the mechanism in this case. And it is 1. Look at this 1. So I have add 1 both side. Both side you have to add, because this is equations. You can't just add here. It is unbalanced. If it is equations, the thing is you add this right side as well as left side. So next line you can see 8 plus 1 is 9. Then x plus 1 squared equal 9. Then you have to get the square root of the either side. When you are taking square root of a number, you have to consider plus and minus both. Because if you think about the square root of 4, it will be plus 2 as well as minus 2. Plus 2 into plus 2 also 4, minus 2 into minus 2 also 4. So if you are getting square root of this one, square root and the square cancel out. You can see here square and square root cancel out. Then you just remain x plus 1. Then square root of 9 is 3. Then you can write plus or minus 3. Now in this equation, having plus value as well as here minus value. So there is a two way you have to go with. Considering positive, you have to find the value what is the related value for the positive, and you have to consider negative, then find what is the value for negative. So if I think it is plus 3, so I can write this equation. If it is plus 3, Look at this. If it is plus 3, I can write this equation. X plus 1 equal 3. Then 1 bring other side, x equal 2. If I consider minus 3, if I consider minus 3, here you can see x plus 1 equal minus 3. So x equal minus 3 minus 1, then x equal minus 4. So these are the two answers for appropriate answer for this equation.